Who am I to have the audacity to coach, to lead, to guide? Who am I to think that I have something valuable to offer? Isn't it arrogance? Who am I who feels like I doubt, I fail, I struggle, to think that I can now show up to help other people with their struggles when I struggle? How many times has this blocked you, held you back, held you prisoner, and kept you from fully expressing your purpose, expressing your natural apple tree self? And here's the thing, right? When you're in front of someone that needs you, doesn't it just flow? Doesn't it just happen naturally? Even if there's stress or even if there is doubts, they all fall away. And instead, there's just the person in front of you or the group in front of you. And your apple tree knows what to do. Your natural true self knows what to do. When that question arises, who am I to think that I can put myself out there as a coach, as a leader, as a guide, as a facilitator of change? Perhaps hear what wisdom taught me once about this exact question that plagued me for a long time. I asked the depth of my wisdom. I said, who am I? With all the fear that carries, with all the holding back, all the what ifs. And wisdom translated when I said, who am I, was who are you not to? An apple tree doesn't say I am better than, because it's not true. And an apple tree neither says I'm less than, because that's also not true. It doesn't hide itself under a rock behind a shed. It simply says, I am this. Who am I to guide, lead, teach, facilitate? Who are you not to? How are you holding your apples back from being made by your apple tree? Ego is plus and minus. The depth of you, the truth of you is equal to. So when you feel plus minus dynamics showing up in you, the polarization between the part of the mind that says make yourself look more and the part of the mind that says make yourself look less, understand that your biology, your physiology, your survival programming, it's got a lot to do with in the jungle, the mighty jungle, when something approaches you that feels big. So whenever you're facing a big challenge or a big unknown, the response is going to be plus minus or minus, right? It's going to be make yourself superior bigger or make yourself inferior smaller. It's going to be posture, exaggerate, mask, or it's going to be minimize, hide, shrink back, run, play dead. Those two responses have compassion for them. They come from your biology. They come from your body's instinctive response to life, because everything in nature is wired. It's got software to survive. But what is that deeper truth? How does wisdom see that moment? Wisdom sees that moment with, I am this. Just simply, I am this, the truth. The mind can only consider the past and project imaginary futures. So both are movie-making devices. The mind is only capable of making movies about what if this happens, picturing, imagining the nightmares or the Hollywood endings of tomorrow, and reimagining the past, playing back old movies. Your mind is imagining who am I to. It's putting itself ahead, right? It's imagining who am I to be that person who will, who could. So it's creating an imagined future. And it's looking at your past for, remember that time that happened and it was terrible, or remember that awkward feeling, or remember, and it's now using that to paralyze you. Wisdom, your true being, is, yes, right here, right now. That's why when somebody is in front of you that needs you, or that will benefit from your presence, your words, your guidance, your expertise, your tools, your skills. When that person's in front of you, yes, you've got all your knowledge, you've got all your resource to draw on, and that's important. But what happens is that there's a spontaneous meeting of the person in front of you that does not belong to tomorrow or yesterday's movie. So who am I to? And I say, who are you not to? If it is natural when you are in front of the person to move, to serve, if a natural guide, teacher, facilitator, space holder, change agent, leader, whatever the words are, shows up, that's your apple tree making apples in the moment. So your mind is trying to prepare for the future. It's trying to avoid the pains of the past. This is a leap of faith to trust your apple tree knows what to do. Believe me, I know this journey. I know how tough it is. I can't tell you how many presentations, training events, big talks, television interviews I've done where my mind has tortured me with the future imagined what if, and who am I to think that I have anything valuable to say or share, and a shy childhood, and a personality type 9 on the Enneagram that's default is to blend in. So all of that and whatever you've got stacked up against you, your mind is going to hold you to ransom. So we love our minds and we love the body's software and its survival program, and we say, thanks, but I'm going for a second opinion. And we remember that the mind cannot know tomorrow, that to trust your apple tree is to take all the work you've put in, the sharpening of your skills, the knowledge that you've gained, the courses you've completed, the tools that you've refined, plus your natural apple tree that knows what it's doing, that knows how to show up, and to trust that in the moment, all of that can come into play if you're just focused on being of service to the person in front of you. That's all you need to do. Life is in service to life. Everything in nature is in service to itself, and it moves with love to serve. When I have felt that stress, that dynamic, and then still put myself on a stage or put myself in a boardroom or put myself in front of an exco, senior leaders, all the time the mind would say, who am I? I'm not equal to this. And it wants a plus minus survival tactic. And instead, you show up to serve and you watch the magic happen. You just show up and trust your apple tree and your knowledge and your skills that your apple tree has come to accumulate. And in those moments in my life, and I wish this for you too, that's when you feel this is what I was born for. Because an apple tree just makes apples. You naturally will move. If you're focused on serving the person in front of you, love moves to serve them. And everything that you have within you will be used and will be useful for serving the person in front of you. Who am I to guide? Who am I to lead? Who am I to teach? Who are you not to? You be that. You trust your apple tree. It knows what it's doing.